Okay, people. So, yeah, just checked out No One Will Save You, which is very busy. I did not see this last, end of last week. So, yeah, it only just seemed to have appeared, but was supposedly out on the 22nd. Yeah, a little baffled. But it is the new film from Brian Duffield, who's been around. He's written a lot of stuff, but this is only his second directorial effort. Okay, so yes, he writes this one as well. He produces along with Alan Mandelbaum, Tim White, and Trevor White. It's executive produced by Joshua Thorne and Kaitlyn Dever. Joseph Trapanese handles the music, Aaron Moulton cinematography, Gabriel Fleming edits, Jenny Ju is on casting, Ramsey Avery production design, art direction is Alice Alwood and Kirsten Leckie. Set decoration, we have Kimberly Murphy and Claire Sanchez, with costume design handled by Natalie O'Brien. Hair and makeup and all of that jazz, we got Dominique Brooke, Maureen Chapman, Lee Nikki Denson, Wendy Cracker, Courtney Lever, Jen Rooms, and Melissa Stryker. So the cast. Brynn is played by Kaitlyn Dever. A younger version of her is played by Elizabeth Kalouv. Her mother is played by Lauren L. Murray. Her friend Maud is played by Dari Lynn Griffin, and a younger version of Maud is played by Evangeline Rose. We've got Maud's mother, Mrs. Collin, played by Geraldine Singer, and her dad, Police Chief Collins, played by Dane Rhodes. The mailman is played by Zach Daham. Mr. McCreary is played by Daniel Rigama. We've got a teenage cashier played by Emily White. Her neighbor is played by Nathalie J. Alacon. Police officer is played by John Courts. Yeah, I mean, that's the main group of people. So the gist of the film is an exiled, anxiety-ridden homebody must battle an alien who's found its way into a home. So yeah, it opens up and we've got, Maud, she's in a house, right? She's, trying to work out what to wear. Everything seems to be very precise and meticulous, right? Then we see her come outside. Everyone's got its place. So she noticed things that are out of the normal, right? There's a weird thing on her lawn. So she waters that, gets in the car, and straight away we kind of pick up, okay. Because the beginning bit, I mean, she might be getting ready for a big day. We don't know. But in the car, right, we notice because she waves at the neighbor and they just ignore her. Right? She waves at the postman ignores her. And you're just like, there's definitely an unease here. Right? So for whatever reason, she's being shunned. Right? She's being shunned. At this point as well, you also pick up there's no dialogue. Right? There's like themic music, but that's kind of it, right? There's no dialogue, and that's pretty much for the whole thing, right? We get the sound of breathing, screams, catches a breath, that kind of thing. But yeah, the only word that gets uttered, I believe, is sorry, which, because we've had no other dialogue and because everything that we're seeing, it does make that word even more powerful. So the film is, it's all about, right, the physical movement, the expressions, and everything like that, which, man, that's all handled really, really well, right? Because, so she's in town, we see her go home, she's getting ready, she's got ready for bed, and then she hears a noise, right? Think it's like foxes or something. So she goes to investigate and then hears these noises, right? These alien kind of weird noises, and just sees something, that a shadow, which obviously that's not good. The front door's open. And yeah, this is when it really, because, again, it's all about the physical and the expressions, and we see the fear. Right now, it's the fear, the panic, the worry, all of that. We get great close-ups of the eyes, right? So we're really sold on this. So it makes it great. Now, we've seen kind of, those horrors and things that deal with this thing. A Quiet Place is probably something that's, a huge comparison. Right? They're completely different films, but because of the lack of dialogue and all of that, right? But in A Quiet Place, we don't see Alien. Right now, this is the thing: we don't really see the alien until close to the end. This one, we see it pretty early. And I will say, when you first see it, you're a bit like, it's a little goofy, right? It's a little goofy. But I think it's what happens with, like, it's the movements of the alien that make it really just troubling, right? They make it troubling, make it worrying. You're like, ooh, what the fuck, man? Right? And that adds to the creepiness of everything. So you're really just, whoa, what is happening? Now, it's creepy at night, it's creepy in the day as well, because it's not all at night. So we get shit in the day. Now, I think a big thing is, we still, for a big chunk of this film, we have no clue why, Brynn's being ostracized, right? What's going on? Now we get a sense that something crazy, like, we feel that, her mum's no longer there. She's living alone, right? We see her write to her best friend, but, you're just, what else is happening, right? What's going on? Like, huh? But we don't get anything. So although we are with Brynn, right? We are like, yo, is she gonna survive? What? We don't know a whole deal about her, And listen, it's it's a problem with the horror franchise, right? Because you have people running and trying to hide, but you have these same people like, oh no, it's like, screaming and just making so much noise, right? Making so much noise. You're just like, I do not believe that someone couldn't have found them by now, right? They are too fucking noisy. What is going on? And that's a big thing. She makes so much noise, right? And I get, because it's a silent film, right? Maybe they're just like, okay, we need you to kind of scream, breathe loudly, all of this. But it also isn't conducive to someone fearing for their life and trying to survive because they're dead straight away, right? It is one of those things. And hey, it's usually girls, right? It's usually the girl in the film, the TV show, is the one screaming and making bare noise. Now, obviously, right, there's plenty of girls that don't scream, that don't jump, that don't panic, but they're the ones we only see on TV, right, on the big screen. And so you are watching and going, yo, okay, but she'd be jacked. She'd be jacked. Now, she is fighting, right? This is the big thing. You know what I mean? She's not just withering in a corner, she is doing shit. But you're just like, to be able to really hold your corner in this kind of situation, you need to cut down on the fucking no. So if you know you panic and do that shit, like wrap a scarf around your mouth. You know what I mean? Not trying to choke yourself, but trying to muffle anything that might come out, right? You'd at least do that. Yeah, I'd want to see that, right? Because then I can be completely sold. Because otherwise, I'm just like, nope, they be jacked ASAP, right? You're not hiding. What the fuck? But yeah, we get all of this, and as the film goes on, right, you are kind of but why? There are these but whys. And if, this invasion is happening, what are the other people doing? You know what I mean? Like, because although this is a focus on Brynn and her house, her situation, as I said, we're not getting a whole lot on her. So it then makes you wonder about all this other stuff. In the town, she's living remotely. Surely someone's going to come and check and see, right? Even if you hate people, like there's certain situations where you'd be like, yo, I should make sure that motherfucker's okay still. Or has she done something completely heinous to that? But we don't know. Now, we get to a point where, new things are discovered, right? New things about the aliens. And we finally see what went down with Brynn, right? The thing that must have turned everyone against her, which I will say, it comes in the last third, real close to the end. So it is at a point where you are a bit like, I mean, I'm not really that bothered now, right? But yeah, also the thing that you see, you have to go, I mean, really? Everyone's turned on her because of that? And don't get me wrong, it's not great, but there are mitigating circumstances that you'd think everyone would look at and go, well, okay, right? There is that. So this, it's a good film in the fact that we get this really dynamic performance from Diva, right? Or Dever. I'm not quite sure, people. I'm going to say Diva, right? Kaitlyn Dever. We get this really dynamic, strong performance because she's carrying this film in a lot of senses, right? So the expressions, the movements, all of that, boom, that's great. The movements and the effects of the aliens is pretty fantastic. And the music works to a degree. Yeah, I'm not necessarily a complete fan of, feel sad music, feel happy music, and all of that. But yeah, I do think the music does bring out the tone and all of that kind of thing in this film, right? And we get, I mentioned it, some good cinematography and camera work, right? Of like, you know, the aerial views that then suddenly make you go, oh shit, because you realize stuff, or the panning, which then shows something. That's really good. The close-ups of her eyes to show the panic and the fear and all that is handled very well. You do kind of feel that they played out the situation for a long ass time, right? The pacing does feel like it is a little bit all over the place, right? And the ending, I don't know, right? I don't know because then there's reasons, obviously, but we don't know them. So it does make you wonder. That's all I can really say about that. You know what I mean? So, hey, the film has got a lot of potential. It does hit a lot of it, but it's a little inconsistent in other areas. Definitely worth checking out, though. Definitely worth checking out because I think, yeah, I think they've done some great things here. I definitely think that. I just think it could have been tightened up a little bit, and then it would have been really strong, right? If we would just tighten that script, the pacing, just some little tweaks, and this would have been a real strong film. But I gotta say, yeah, we've had some interesting stuff from 20th Century Studios. You know, definitely had some interesting things from them. Clock, Barbarian, there's Appendage, right? That was from them. So we've had some interesting things, and this is another one. So yeah, if you like all of those other films, I think this one will intrigue you, you know. So it is now out now on Hulu, Stars, right? Disney Plus, wherever you are in the world, you will be able to see it on one of those iterations of the platform. So yes, there you go, people. No one will save you.